Hey everyone, how's it going today? Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Bitcoin, however, is having a pretty day. So we're going to talk about what's going on with Bitcoin and the overall crypto market. So let's jump into it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, follow me on X wherever you're watching this, and let's get into our video here. All right, so Bitcoin is digesting U.S. nightmare. CPI jobs data comes in as 60K hangs in the balance. So what are we really looking at here? Well, let's jump over right quick and we're going to take a look at the price action because this is really going to paint an overall picture before we get into the article. So the overall crypto market is down about 1.76% today. Bitcoin seeing about a 2% decrease in price, sitting at about 60,500. We see all across the board, we have slight downtrends. Well, not all across the board. We have a couple of outliers, but the majority of top 100 cryptos are in the red today. So let's jump back over and take a look at what's going on. Bitcoin has mixed United States inflation data coming in right now. So what's really happening here? Well, September, the US CPI came in for September today, this morning, and it came in above expectations. So it came in hotter than expected, which equals bad for crypto. Over the last 12 months, all items index increased 2.4% before seasonal adjustment, says the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. So we can see this is their chart that they are providing here. This is basically what it comes in at. The CPI selected categories, not seasonally adjusted, and we can see here all the different criteria there. So the jobless claims has hit their highest level since June of 2023. When combined with CPI, this could produce what trading resource the CPI called a nightmare for the Federal Reserve. So was there an external factor pressuring the Fed? People are starting to question this now with last month's 50 basis point cut. You know, why did they cut so heavy beginning? Because they're still getting mixed data here in regards to inflation. So, CPI data coming in hot, Fed, the jobs report is, there's just too much conflicting information right now. So they're not quite sure why they cut the 50 basis points. Why didn't they start with the 25 kind of thing? But there could have been some, this is an election year, even though the Fed says that they don't get pressure from outside of, their section. They don't get pressured from outside influences to basically sway either way. That's what they say. Is that really true? It's who knows, right? Unless we have information providing otherwise. But Bitcoin traders agreed that the Fed officials were more likely to focus on jobs than a slight CPI overshoot, which means that this temporary Bitcoin dip, it's only a small dip. It's only a couple of percentage, but it equals out to be quite a bit when you're talking 60.5K. Bitcoin traders agreed Fed officials are more likely to focus on jobs than slight CPI overshoot. So that means that the CPI overshoot could potentially be digested in the next couple of days, and it might not be as heavy on the market. So probably the rumors about QE more rate cuts will strengthen, which would equal positive for Bitcoin, says Michael Van de Pope, and he posted that on X. Markets probably saw a higher chance of the Fed enacting a 0.25% interest rate cut in its November meeting. The odds of reaching that would be about 87% right now, as per Fed Watch. So this is basically what they're coming out at. So they kind of try to gauge the market and try to figure out, what's the percentage rate of this happening, and that's pretty much what this chart shows us here. So the minutes of the Fed September meeting noted that the Fed were less dovish than expected. They all agreed on. I made a video on this yesterday, as well. Now they all agreed on a rate cut, but they all kind of had differing opinions. Most of them obviously voted for the 50 basis point cut because that's what we got. But there was some that were still a little bit hesitant on that and thought that it maybe a 25 point cut would be, better off. But really, I really believe that the Fed weren't quite sure where this was going to go. I just kind of got that feeling from Fed Chair Powell. And they really I think they just made the cut just to see what's going to happen, to kind of reassess things and see how it's going. So, I'm anticipating that we might see a very, very, either a pause this in November, or we might see a very, very minimal cut, depending on what the inflation data shows. I don't think Powell's going to be I don't quite know, because if he is feeling a bit pressure from the presidential race and all that stuff, we could see another 25 basis point cut, which is most likely what's going to happen. However, I feel like he might think a pause is probably more in order, but I don't know if he will actually go that route because I mean that would be pretty hard on the markets in my opinion, where we are expecting a cut still. And everything, so to speak, so far has mentioned that we are going to get cut, right? And not, it hasn't mentioned a pause. So I think if he does give a pause, it's going to have a really negative effect on the market. But if I think as long as we get, any kind of a cut, I think we're going to be okay. That's just my opinion. I know that's a little bit convoluted and I'm a little bit all over the place, but it's really hard to, to try and predict what another human's going to do. I'm just kind of trying to read his past, some of his past announcements and things that he's said along the way to kind of get me to that conclusion. I really think that he is really on the fence, in my opinion, but I think that we are still going to see a cut next month. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. But that's what Bitcoin is digesting right now. Basically, everything that's going through my head, right? Trying to figure out where this is headed, how bad it's going to be. Is it going to be bad at all? Or are we going to kind of digest and get through this? I think we're going to digest and get through this. I don't think we're going to see too bad of a dip here in the market, but I could be wrong. So, just bear with us and we'll just keep an eye on it for you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.